Hello, and welcome to part two of our Paradox of Commons lyrical breakdown. We took you through the Gozerian trilogy, and now we're moving on to Ubiquitous Gaze, which is track 4 on the album. Ubiquitous Gaze has to do with strange beings from other dimensions coming to Earth. It was very inspired by H.P. Lovecraft, Tales of the Cthulhu mythos, and the Marvel character Shumagorath, which is a giant tentacle being with one gigantic eye. So I just always loved that character, and I thought it would be fun to write a song about him coming to Earth and subjugating the populace. So that's essentially where that song came from, and it segues nicely into the next track, which is Anti-Life Equation. Now, Anti-Life Equation, if the invasion took place with Ubiquitous Gaze, Anti-Life Equation is the aftermath of it and the subjugation of mankind. It's based off of a MacGuffin that DC Comics used with their character Darkseid. It was this plot device in which he created this formula that would essentially prove the banality of existence and then cause everyone who discovers this formula to bow to Darkseid's whim. I just love the concept behind it, so that's where I went with it lyrically. And it's, I start to plant the seeds of resistance in the album because there's a lot of themes, overarching themes in the story of this album that I wanted to get into. And it was how, no matter the overwhelming odds and, how bleak things may seem, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and even under such oppression, the seeds of rebellion are always there, and there's a little bit of hope in the lyrical content of the song, but things are still pretty bleak for the people involved. Moving on to track 6 is Enticing the Tyrant. This was a short little track that we wrote near the end of the album. We wanted it to be more than filler, which is why I ended up putting lyrics into it. The references to the old gods and the new is a bit of a Game of Thrones reference, just lightly tossed in there. And I start talking about kings, and there's a lot of kings talk throughout the album. The next track, Palaver, I mentioned the Crimson King, who's part of the Dark Tower series, and following on, for example, Venn Diagram heavily talks about kings, and Black Box also is about rule and stuff like that. And these songs are very strategically placed together because there's kind of these general themes that I wanted to lump the tracks into. And when we write, we don't write these songs with any sort of lyrical intent in them. And I love putting the lyrics in afterwards. And usually it takes me such a long time. It was so easy for this album, though. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I just, I found a really good muse in my writing, and I just wrote, and it all just came together. I mean, usually, we're up to okay, we're recording vocals today. I just wrote the lyrics on the back of a napkin, let's record. But, I had everything, ready. By the time we had finished the demos for this album last year, we already had all the lyrics written. So there really was very little written during the production process. Maybe a few edits and tweaks here and there, but I'm very happy with the lyrics. But enough about that. Let's go on. Enticing the Tyrant leads into Palaver, which is one of my favorite tracks off the album. During the time that we started doing the drums for the album, it's around, May? I believe I had finished reading the Dark Tower series, and I knew lyrically that we had a song that had this Western theme to it, and I really wanted to tie it to the Dark Tower, which is a 7-book series by Stephen King, which really just it changed my whole perspective on things. It's a great work of fiction. I highly recommend you pick it up and read it. There's really, I don't want to tie in too much. I really talk a lot about the first book in that series, the Gunslinger book, and if you read the book, you will understand what the song is about, and I hope if it catches you, you'll read through the entire series. It's really some of Stephen King's best works, and it really ties a lot of his other stories together too. So it's an awesome combination of horror and science fiction, and with a Western theme that ties through the whole thing. So that is track 7. In our next segment, we will move on through the next 3 tracks of the album. Thank you for watching.
The tower